Welcome, everyone, to the SICKO's Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of August 13th, 2024. I'm getting those post-Olympic shakes during the day. There's nothing to watch. I've been looking up for other things. Little League World Series is coming up, I think, which will be a lot of fun.
Very soon. Very soon.
I saw that there's already betting on that. So, folks, if you want to hit rock bottom, I got a spot for you.
Who is betting on the Little League World Series?
Actual degenerates?
Yeah.
Really?
It's so good. It's so good.
Is it?
Kidding me.
Is it? I don't like that.
No.
Good isn't funny.
No.
Okay, maybe I'm sad. Maybe. There we go.
I'm with you, Jordan. I'm saying it's so good. It's a little sickos.
I've been in the middle of dropping my kid off to his first week of kindergarten, and he has now gotten back to the point he's learned to just say things are fine at school. Just like 3 days in, and he's already at that point where he shows up. How's school today? Fine. What'd you do today? Not much. So, wow, he's learned early.
I can't wait until he starts saying "living the dream."
He's heard me
That's
say
coming for. Yeah, it's definitely coming for you sooner than you think.
Oh my God. Well, folks, as always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, we've got Commish, Pitt Girl, Beth, and two special guests, Katie and Michael Felder from Hand in the Dirt podcast, among other things. Felder, how are you, sir?
Hey, man. Living the dream. Had to do it. I had to do it.
Had to do it.
Oh, that's so good. Katie, how are you?
I'm great, you guys. I did my taxes tonight. I always have to file an extension, and I did that before we got on. So I'm doing great.
This is taxes from last year?
2023 taxes, yeah. I have a K1, and I always have to file an extension, and then I just put it off forever.
Hey,
and so,
but your boy's real bad at taxes, so don't worry about it.
Familiar.
Beth, how are you doing?
Anyways, yes, good.
This is the high part of my day. How can I miss?
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. We'll hopefully make it better. Hey, girl?
It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. Commish?
I still have the mother-in-law at the new in-laws house.
Yeah.
So I made 3 trips to that house, which is like a 20 to 25 minute drive from my house in the middle of like the work day today. And I'm just going to say that I'm glad they're leaving Friday.
So they're going to keep this house as just sort of their like guest
like
house in your city?
You could kind of say like it's their northern home because they live in like Mission McAllen.
Yeah.
So this is their northern retreat to San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, man, y'all are drinking tonight, and all I got is just Dr. Pepper. Maybe I'll start drinking in a bit.
I got water, too. Don't worry.
I have seltzer.
Oh,
I'm living the life.
I'm only
drinking
drinking
water.
Water.
I'm just drinking water, Jordan, so don't feel bad.
I needed some after today, which I'm probably going to need more until Friday when they leave.
Yeah.
Water. This is all water.
Oh, look at that. A pitcher. I need a pitcher. I'm one of those people that fills up my glass entirely with ice, and I have like a sonic ice machine. So I fill it to the top with ice. I then pour soda or water over it and then top it off with more ice till it's at the very top. I know, like I'm an ice chewer. I always have to have more ice. Arthur knows I'm an ice chewer because Arthur has to like drown me out every time I crunch ice on this podcast. Sorry about that.
No,
I tried to mute.
I'm a water boy. No pun intended.
I've always been the person, like, I will be the kind of person that goes to a restaurant, sits down, and like slams the first 2 glasses of water just immediately.
You and obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend are spiritually the same in this respect.
Like, the waiter will come back, 3 seconds later, and I will have already just destroyed like a full glass of water. I do this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Well, folks, we have actual college football news tonight in that the AP poll dropped, which means everyone got real silly for a little bit. And sure, the top 25 are interesting, but others receiving votes is sort of where our spiritual life is.
It's where we live.
And I'll mention the teams here. We'll go from there. Louisville. This is in order from most votes to fewest. Louisville, Virginia Tech, Boise State, SMU, Iowa State, Washington. Washington going from playoff to also receiving votes, but not a lot of them, is a really weird story. West Virginia. Hi, Beth. Memphis, Nebraska, Wisconsin, UTSA, Tulane, App State, Kentucky, Auburn with 2 votes, and Colorado with 1.
Beth, how you feeling?
A reminder that it took until the Duke's Mayo Bowl for WVU to beat someone with a winning record. I'm just going to put that out there because none of this has made any sense to me. I have my dad explaining to me why, like, it's obvious that we're going to beat Penn State. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by insanity.
Is Puddles high? Like, respectfully, is Puddles high?
You've met him.
Yeah, fair enough. He's high on life.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. How's it going?
And currently he's in Dubuque, Iowa, so he's living a dream.
That's a dream. Yeah.
LIVIN living.
I'm just imagining like there was a hallway at my job, and it would just be me and this guy just exchanging these pleasantries on a daily basis.
Oh God!
It's just like, how's it going? Oh, it's going.
Jordan, I wish I lived close to your kid to teach him to say another day, another dollar, because that's the other one that I think would be great.
I think he's going to also learn it's going, because that's definitely what I say to everyone. Like if you're walking around the neighborhood and like neighbor nods at you, I always go with, how's it going? It's going.
My favorite variant of this, which I think would be very funny if you taught to your kindergartner, is I haven't burned the place down yet.
Yeah. Okay.
That's aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be a threat. It could also just be an accident. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
I mean,
I might just be incompetent.
Sure, but the idea here and the point is that something's getting burned down.
Some light terrorism from your kindergartner.
I mean, that's all kindergartners are really available to do. Yes,
that's what you try to stop them from, pretty much, until they're 13, 12, 13. Like, the main goal is stay alive, don't burn stuff down.
Yeah, you can burn stuff lightly. That's fine.
Light burning is fine, not down though. If you have an 8-year-old and they say they burn something down, you're like, oh man, I have seriously, and I don't know if I'm allowed to use this type of language.
Yes, you are. Yep.
Okay, well, you've seriously fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, you could always say another day in paradise.
I mean, I've said this story before, but like when I was little, like I did shoot my grandpa. I did shoot my grandpa in the arm with a BB gun, so I feel like
not good.
I mean, that's another one. Like, oh, I as a kid, like, oh yeah, I shot grandpa. That also, like, yeah.
That sentence by itself. Can you imagine that sentence by itself when he tells his teacher that?
Oh yeah. Huh? I definitely know that I went into my school and told my first grade teacher, I think it was, I shot grandpa. And that definitely got a call home. And it got called home in the 80s, which says something. Because you had to really fuck up to get a call home at that point.
Yeah, you fucked up, player.
Oh, 100% did. 100%.
All right, so let's look at this AP poll. So we're looking at the AP poll. What are you guys' I want to know this. I know you guys brought me on the show to ask me stuff, but you know what? This is what I like to do. I like to flip it on everybody.
Flip it on us.
Yeah. It's your flipping.
I was going to ask you about the new pants. But
new what?
You were getting new pants.
Yeah, I got
for this podcast fest.
I got to order new pants. They're coming up. We'll talk about that later. I do have to order new pants.
Okay.
The last time I bought pants, I weighed 75 more pounds than I weigh now, so I got to order new pants. But no, this is. It's your flipping nipper. Don't take the thing I had. It's your flipping nipper flim. Yep. That's Missy.
Yes, I'm well aware.
I'm going through the AP, the AP top 25. I love the top 6: Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. We have Ole Miss there, and then we get to Notre Dame. First question I have for everyone, and I want to go through everybody's answer. Notre Dame, what is their path to the playoff? They have to be in the top what to get into the playoff? I want to start with Katie, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I know.
Florida State fan.
Yeah.
She knows all about the playoff. It went well last year.
This is how you make a show.
That's right. That's right. She's still fighting the good fight.
I mean, they have to win out because they're not in a conference.
Right? Exactly.
It feels that way, or like they have way less wiggle room than anyone else. Like right now, they only have one ranked team on the schedule.
Their schedule is garbage.
Yeah.
And so any trip is just like a trip. Oh, God forbid you drop one to like Georgia Tech. Like, God forbid.
They open at A&M,
which I think you're allowed to lose. I think you're allowed to lose that one, and that gives you time.
Texas A&M.
Early season Texas A&M. This Texas A&M's team might still have some. They're usually good to rattling off a couple of good wins at the beginning of the season.
That is an important part of the Aggie.
That's the Aggie Cliff roller coaster thingy that they do. They get,
Are you kidding me?
I've watched Notre Dame bullshit their way into so many playoff type situations. It's hard for me to believe that if they're not in the top 15, they won't somehow manage to magic their way in, even though I know that almost certainly can't happen. It's just the way this sport works. It's one of the few things I can count on.
Yeah.
What will screw that up, or what will cause this to happen, is that their last game's at USC. No matter what at USC looks like at that point, if they win that game, that will be enough momentum. If they haven't just completely hit every branch all the way down, that will get them enough momentum into that top bit, I think.
And USC is not in the preseason top 25. No, they're 23.
They're 23. Yeah, they're number 23. There are three preseason ranked teams on this Notre Dame schedule: USC, Florida State, and Texas A&M. And the rest of this
A&M's at 20.
A&M at 20, Florida State at 10, and USC at 23. And the rest of the schedule is like, here's some random teams from the ACC. Haha, Stanford is an ACC game now.
God,
that's true.
Yeah.
The one that I love is that everyone's been trying to make a projected college football playoff out of this, and they're having to put number 12 Big 12 champion Utah in, the bye that gets a bye, because that's one of the highest. And that has been making people's brains just absolutely melt, which I love.
It should.
It's beautiful.
They're good. Utah has. So let's hang on. Let's go through this. Let's go team by team, right? Let's do this. Yeah. I know you guys brought me on here to talk about the ACC, but here's the reality. Georgia has their quarterback coming back, right? So if we're starting at 1, Georgia's quarterback is coming back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They still have to replace weapons, but Georgia also has maybe the heaviest offensive line I've ever seen in my life.
The biggest of big boys. Yeah, it's impressive.
They're huge. Ohio State somehow adds Judkins to their mix.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sure, that should be fun.
It's going to be apparently he's insane on NCAA.
Yes, look out for that spin move.
And then Oregon adds in a transfer quarterback that's played, 1,000 years of football.
And also passed for a bajillion yards. Again, it's just reloaded up Bo Nix.
I'm really bullish on Oregon, like the most bullish on Oregon this year. I'm so bullish on them.
It takes us to get to 4 to get to Texas to talk about a team that has a quarterback that we do expect to be picked early in the NFL draft. Then we get to Alabama, and they do return their quarterback as well in Jalen Miller. We talk about Ole Miss, and obviously you get to Jackson Dart. Notre Dame has Riley, the transfer from Duke. Riley Leonard, yes, from Duke, who I like. Drew Aller at Penn State. I still don't know how I feel about James Franklin. I think he's James Franklin is I don't know. It's like he has whiskey dick.
Yeah.
Is that why is that funny?
Because it's accurate.
Because
listen, he's gonna do everything he can to get you all the way to the point, but he's not gonna finish.
No.
And so that's and then Michigan, they lose a top 10 draft pick quarterback. Florida State loses so many pieces, whether you want to talk about Verse, you want to talk about Verse, you want to talk about Wilson, you want to talk about Keon Coleman, who's become the darling of the NFL. Trey Barnes? Like, you want to talk about all these guys. And so we're at 10 for Florida State. But the other part with Florida State, which I really love, and I do love this about Florida State, is we are talking about a team that gets DJ. I think that Clemson, and because Clemson's down there at 14, so we'll get to them. But Clemson and Florida State might be that might be game of the year. Like that, DJ Uyunglele playing against his former team with a Florida State team that has arguably, between Peyton and Farmer, the best inside-outside duo on the defensive side of the ball. This is going to be really interesting. I think Mizzou is maybe the most underrated team in the country. Nobody's talking about them. Utah and Mizzou can argue with each other. I don't care. Tell your parents.
Mizzou's got the nuclear thing, so we're going to lean
Utah
Mizzou.
Go face first into the Big 12 and just want to take their rock fights to everyone is going to make me so happy. I was looking at something else today. I was looking at Utah's scoring. Utah was under 25 points a game last year.
Yeah, and who cares?
And they're just going to take that to the Big 12 and just slam that rock into everyone's face. It's going to be wonderful because
it's going to hurt. It's not fun.
No one enjoys playing Utah.
It's not going to be fun for you to play Utah ever. I don't think.
When I was a sophomore in college, we played Utah. This is the Urban Meyer year. Yeah. Alex Smith.
Mountain West Utah.
When they went undefeated. And they I don't feel bad about this story. My girlfriend went to Boston University.
Go Terriers. Hell yeah.
Go Terriers.
Yeah, go Terriers. Hell yeah, dog. Listen, I know about the bean pot. Don't play me. And I had already booked a flight. And actually, you know who was on my same flight to Boston was Petey Pablo.
Sure.
That's great.
That's right.
He's a very little man. He's a little man. But they asked me, they said, Felder, you had a really good week of practice. Do you want to go to Utah with us? Because you should travel this week. And I was like, no, I already spent $300 on this flight. Like, I'm not going to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a bar in Boston she lived behind Fenway. So we're on a bar right there. I don't remember the name of the street. We're at a bar there. And I'm just like, y'all are getting destroyed. And in my mind, I'm so glad I'm not there. Mm-hmm. This sucks. This looks like it sucks, man. This is bad. And so it was just like, I was like, I'm glad listen, you know what's going to happen for me tonight? I don't have to take a plane across the country. I'm going to touch something.
Are we just used to the idea that Penn State's going to float themselves up into the playoff every year now? First round blowout, but just constantly there.
I'm so mad about this. And I don't mean to overtalk anyone. So listen, do we need to have a hand raising system or something? Just because Penn State to me, again, I don't need to. You guys say anything. I already said what I said about Penn State. They're the fucking blue balls of.
We have a West Virginia fan and also a Pitt fan on this podcast. So anything you say about Penn State, they will second it.
We love Penn State slander, and actually, it's not slander because they deserve it.
I mean, the weird thing looking at this AP poll to me is it's kind of yet another it's kind of been going in stages for me of realizing this is who actually is going to be in the playoff now. Because you look at some of these teams and there are teams here, even teams in the top 10 that I wouldn't take seriously as playoff contenders, not from a talent perspective necessarily, but from but they would have to go. Ole Miss is a team that I don't think, they never made the 4-team playoff. And I don't think if we still had the 4-team playoff, I would take them all that seriously this year, simply because it's okay, but they're 6th, but look at who's above them in their conference. Yeah. And now like suddenly I'm gonna.
It's
hitting me that it's like, well, I mean, 6th is like you don't have to win your conference if you're top 6. Like you're good.
We used to joke in a couple towns in Texas where you could be one of the 4 best marching bands in the state of Texas and be 4th best in your district. Like that is a very real thing. Where same thing with like Ole Miss. Like, hey, you're top 4 in the SEC. Unfortunately, they're all above you nationally too.
Yeah.
I just want to take a second to think about how funny a potential, like if we take this top 12 and we just shake it just a little bit, how funny a potential Penn State Ole Miss first round playoff game would be.
Oh yeah, just
can we talk about how funny that would be?
Where is it? Is it Happy Valley?
Ideally in State College.
Yeah, ideally in State College, yes.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I like that.
God.
That's cold.
Watching a bunch of Ole Miss fans just try to figure out how to get to State College would be funny enough.
Yes, I mean,
no, because it's not like it's easy to get to Oxford.
It's not.
It ain't easy to get it. No, it's not either. I've been there a few times. It's difficult.
Like what are you going to do? You going to fly into Memphis and then drive down and figure it out? Like it's not easy to get there either. Like Penn State is the big like anomaly, but like the reality is like these guys, they're like, oh man, hey, when my dad comes, because I went to school with a guy named Jay Spence. Jay Spence, his little brother is best friends with Colton Walls. Colton Walls played at Clemson for a little bit and then transferred to Ole Miss. Colton Walls is Wesley Walls' kid. Okay. And so the Walls family had to go to Walls, and the Spence family had to go to Ole Miss all the time. And let me tell you something. They're like, man, sometimes it's just easier to drive.
That's
yeah. I mean, we would drive from New Orleans. We just go straight up 55.
Yeah.
And then
they drive
try
from
to find
Charlotte.
a hotel in Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
They just drive from Charlotte. Yeah. They're like, man, it's not even worth it to fly.
20. Yeah, you take 20 and then you're fine. It's better to do it that way.
We also have 13 LSU, 14 Clemson, 15 Tennessee, 16 Oklahoma, 17 Oklahoma State, who opens, I keep mentioning it, they opened this year versus number 1 FCS South Dakota State. You know what?
That's a choice,
they might
kids.
Lose.
No one is forcing you to do this.
No, I don't know why they did this. Was this like Mike Gundy's? Was it Mike Gundy's 56th birthday present? Here you go. We got you a jacket.
I'm a man. I'm 56.
You can't even argue that like some other coach did this. No, man, he's been there forever. It's not like, this was a past regime. At least Dion can complain that, okay, someone else like signed him up for North Dakota State.
Okay, can we call a timeout? Because I know they're not ranked. But can we talk about Colorado for a second?
Sure.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
What am I supposed to do with them? I did a show today for Bleacher Report, and I was like, what are they going to do? Are they going to win their first like few games and then just disappear? Like, what you guys tell me? How am I supposed to feel about Colorado?
I mean, so number 1, they open with North Dakota State. So are they going to win their first few games? Great question. I don't know. I would love to talk to the person who gave them a vote, by the way.
Yes.
That was
hang on, not just a vote.
A receiving vote, the 25th place.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was Mike Hill of Fox.
Well, I mean, I think like Colorado is probably the highest variance team this like projecting forward, I feel like, because like there are some teams that could be good, but like there's a floor. There are teams that are probably going to be pretty bad. There's a ceiling. Colorado is probably the team I know the least about for a number of reasons. The Big 12 is probably the most competitive conference that we have, at least like top of the sport.
You're saying they're mercurial.
I'm saying like there's a lot of games on here that you could tell me right now, like, oh, they win that or they lose that. And like, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, there's a lot of coin flips on the schedule, depending on their depth. The thing is, as the SICKO committee, like we love chaos, we love variance, and Colorado by itself, like without factoring in the head coach and all the weird discourse around them, they're extremely sickos because they're very unpredictable.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily know what they're going to do. The only problem is when you talk about them, the
Everyone
discourse
loses
is
their mind.
everybody loses their mind. Like nobody can stay sane when you talk about Colorado.
Yes,
Like you look,
totally agree.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Like there's no way to talk about Colorado. I mean, they open at North Dakota State. I'm sorry, they welcome North Dakota State. Then they go at Nebraska.
Yep.
Like, ooh, okay. What happens there? Is it going to be the same thing as last year, or is it going to be the opposite? Is Nebraska better? Then it's at Colorado State. They won in a double OT thriller that Colorado State probably should have won last year.
I remember that game, and everyone was hanging like, "Oh, that's 2 in a row, baby! Big wins over TCU." Which again, we didn't know TCU was as broken as they were at that point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but like, so I mean, they beat TCU, Nebraska, and Colorado State to open this 3-0. And then they had like game day like 4 times in a row.
That's right.
Or like Fox was there 4 times in a row. It was ridiculous. Then they welcome Baylor. So I mean, Baylor was 3-9 last year. What are they gonna do? At UCF, UCF was.
I can't predict any of these Big 12 games.
No,
None. What are we gonna do?
And then.
So the line for the season for Colorado is 5.5. And I was like, I feel like you have to hammer the under here. And then I looked at the schedule and I was like, maybe you don't actually.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pitt
Flip
Girl,
a coin.
I want you to tell me, Pitt Girl, what is Colorado, Arizona going to look like? Describe that game to me next year.
No.
Describe Colorado and Kansas on November 23rd. What's that? Give me any idea about what that game's going to look like.
Let's go even.
Arrowhead.
I hope it snows.
Kansas State in October.
Right. Like,
I feel confident in K-State, though.
Throw the schedule in the trash and tell me, gut check, is Colorado better this year than they were last year? Can you answer that question?
No.
Slightly.
Hang on. No. We can't just say stuff and say it. We have to. Like, here's the thing. I'm pulling it up right now. Colorado.
They moved to the ACC, by the way.
Huh?
Oh my God.
We've put Colorado to the ACC. They're in the ACC.
Oh God.
Just because this is the ACC preview show?
Yes.
Listen, I will talk about the ACC here in a second. Because we have Clemson coming up. But here's all I'm saying is they have they have transfers.
Everyone's like, they have new coordinators. They've got new everything.
Right. Everything is new for them. And
this is the football team of Theseus.
Yeah, their whole entire, like, you go to our lads, their entire thing is orange. Like, what are we doing? The whole thing's orange.
It's so much fun to watch people try to put this together when there's just not enough information. My wife is a federal analyst. She is a very left brain. Like, you have the stuff in front of you, you draw conclusions based on only that. And if I try to take it to this, I have, like, my only answer is, huh?
Yeah.
I scrolled down to the wiki at the bottom where it says outgoing transfers, and I had to scroll way too much. And then I saw incoming transfers, and I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah, they've got 40 people coming in and 41 going out.
I mean, it balanced.
If you tell me you know anything about Colorado right now, you are lying.
You're a liar.
They got a new scoreboard.
That is the truth.
Well, how does that help them?
I don't
because
know.
we'll know what the score is. It'll be accurate.
That's right.
True. We can hold on to the fact. I like this.
So we can watch them get their ass beat
in beautiful HD.
Like, the teacher in me just wants to scribble, show your work.
Mm-hmm.
They're a math problem.
Don't. I just got all my school supplies for my kid who's going to first grade, and I accidentally bought unsharpened pencils.
Oh,
no!
You get the Ticonderoga ones though?
Yeah, of course. Come on, dude.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You think I don't get Ticonderoga? Of course, I got Ticonderoga.
That's right. Sponsored by Lee Corso.
But I was like, you know what? I'm not sending them back. I'm buying a pencil sharpener.
Oh my god!
So I just bought a
pencil
pencil
sharpener.
sharpener. I bought
Nice.
a pencil sharpener. We got a pencil
Manual?
sharpener now.
Manual electric?
No, I got electric.
Okay.
But
Oh god, yeah. The manual one that I got was just awful for my second grader.
was it really bad?
Awful.
Why?
It is so. I'm like, how is this thing is not sharpening anything at all?
Are you
It's like
serious?
nothing. Yeah, it was awful. It was like one of these little like plastic things.
The little. You're
bad.
talking about this guy,
Those are
Yeah,
not the wall mount.
I didn't buy the supplies, so I don't want to blame.
You
I
gotta
picture
get
you
the wall
buying-
mount.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like,
we need the wall mount.
Get
So
one
the
off
wall
of-
mount is infuriating because those things are engineered so ergonomically you have to scrape your knuckles on everything while you attempt to use it.
Oh yeah.
I hate
That
That
those
builds
things.
character.
That's why I have my kids do it.
That's why these kids these days are soft, okay? Kids these days. I used to when I used to teach band, I used to hand out golf pencils, like pre-sharpened golf pencils if kids didn't have pencils. But I was known for because I'd be conducting and some people would be like, I need a pencil, sir. So I just grab one and fling it.
Throw it.
Yeah. And man, a little spin on those things and they'll go.
Oh my god!
That'll teach those trumpets to fucking flinch.
All right, so I know I'm supposed to be doing ACC, so let's talk
That's fine.
Clemson.
There's nothing here. Go for it.
Clemson. What does Clemson have to do in that Georgia game to make you believe in them?
Hang till the fourth. Keep
Stay
it
with
within
that touchdown.
keep it in a touchdown till like the fourth.
Yeah, I
give
say
me
touchdown. Yeah.
give me like halfway through the fourth. It's a one possession game.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I don't know that I'm putting a lot of stock in that game because of how early it is in the season and the new playoff format. Like, they can easily lose that game. And, like, that's not the game that matters for them. It's going to matter to them when they have to play, like, Florida State, when they have to play the ACC, because they can lose that game, still make the playoffs, still get a bye by winning the ACC. And, you know, the offense is probably the big question mark, I would think. And that's something where it could be like, well, maybe they figure it out during the season. Like, if they get blown off the field, like if the defense doesn't look competitive, the offense doesn't look competitive, then that's warning signs. But I think as long as that doesn't happen, you can talk yourself into, you know, okay, like it's early in the season and the way that college football is scheduled now, that's not when you need to peak. You need to peak later.
And I think that's also just thinking about like past good Clemson, right?
Yeah.
Past good Clemson has often, usually they win, but they have historically looked bad for the first like 6 weeks at least of the season, right? They do not come out and just destroy everything in their path generally. It takes them a little bit of time. But they win usually.
They got to ramp up. They
got to ramp up. And I think
they're that old lawnmower that takes a little while.
Takes a few pulls, yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta like Dabo's
Maybe
out
need
there
a new
like
spark
pulling the
plug
chain
or-
over and over and over again until it actually
forgot
starts.
to change the oil.
Do y'all remember what the score was the last time these two teams played? This is back in
10-3.
2021. It was 10-3. It was a 10-3 Georgia.
Oh,
win.
that was
It was
weird.
gross.
Yeah. It was a really gross one.
God,
it was
everyone
in
was
the mail.
mad.
It was the Mayo. It was the Mayo, right? The Mayo Classic in Charlotte.
Yeah, it was whenever the opening game in Charlotte is, yeah.
I love it. I loved it. It was to me, that's good football.
Oh yeah.
That's two teams with strong backs laying on you a little bit. And I love that.
In order for me to believe in Clemson, I need to be able to see that they have some things on offense that will reliably work.
Yes.
Even if they can't beat Georgia, I need to be able to see that, like, okay, you have a rushing play that can get 3-4 yards.
Is that Maffa? More Maffa? Less Shipley?
Yeah.
Or no Shipley, obviously.
I mean, I need to see that. I need to be able to see that you have a passing game that exists all the time. That'd be great.
Does it go dormant for half a game?
Yeah.
Antonio Williams? Brian West, what is that? Westcott? Is that his name? Westcott?
It's Wes. Think so?
I think so. I'm looking.
Let me know if I'm wrong. It's fine. I don't mind being wrong.
Being wrong on the internet is just something that
it's okay. We're not.
We're proud of doing.
We do that literally all the time.
It's Bryant.
Bryant.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like ULM's head coach. It's Bryant.
Is Miami actually the 19th best team in the country? Like this is another one where I feel like, hey, it's Miami. We're gonna rank them and then just watch them drift.
I am skeptical.
I love,
but
Cam
that is
Ward.
entirely vibes based.
It's not. It doesn't have to be vibes based. It has to be. What you're talking about is like, if we stop Miami at, you know what? I'll stop Miami at 2004 in Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped them there. We win that game. I was on that team. We won. We beat them. And then going forward, what have we seen from Miami?
I mean, it's been disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
It's like we're so close, and then no. And then Mario Cristobal. Yeah, okay.
That was, yeah.
So
I don't even, like, maybe we get lucky and Florida just wipes them out week 1 and we stop this nonsense.
I
can't wait for that game.
Time out.
It's in the swamp, right?
Yeah,
Time out.
it's at Florida.
If Florida beats Miami
in
in week 1, Mario Cristobal is going to have to find a new place to live.
Okay, I actually hold on. I have a funnier loss. If they lose to Cal, they play Cal in October. I'm looking at their schedule now. I will laugh really hard if they lose to Cal too. Sorry, that's mean.
I mean,
you're right. But I'm just saying, at least like I trust
you're right, yes,
Justin
about
Wilcox as a competent coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If
new
Billy
ACC
Napier
schedule.
beats them, week 1. Wow.
Yeah, Florida's gonna have they're gonna have a hard time this year. It's gonna be...
Miami also gets to host Florida A&M, a real rowdy Florida A&M week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would not want this schedule.
You know
if
that
I were
they're
Miami.
gonna, and you know that they're gonna. I don't know this. I don't know it from Adam. Guarantee they're gonna have FAMU do the halftime show.
Oh, 100%.
I know. I was just like, can I go down there for that?
Ooh, is it the Marching 100 or the Marching 101? If I get it wrong, I'm going to get yelled at.
I think it's the Marching 100.
I think they're the Marching 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you imagine? Can you imagine if you're down 10-6, and then the other team's band comes out and performs?
I mean, one of my favorite games I've ever been to was SMU Prairie View A&M this year, and Prairie View was down by like 50, and their band was still just rocking and rolling and playing through it. So if they're up, or it looks like they're gonna get up, that's in that stadium, that band. Oh yeah, this is gonna. That one has that, like, it could tilt real bad real fast, and right next to them
might be there.
Especially since the Marching 100 is going to outplay Miami's band.
Absolutely.
Miami's band is not. No, it's not good.
I also just love the mental image of the Marching 100 just blowing the absolute roof off of the Hard Rock that has like maybe 25,000 people in it.
Yeah.
Look, okay, before I get accused of slander here, the Frost School of Music at Miami is a great school. I know lots of professors there. I know lots of people there. It is a great school of music.
Yes, so do I. However,
getting that out there.
No, that's
however.
However.
When the Marching 100 shows up, yeah, it's going to be a whole other thing. Right next to Miami, by the way, in the rankings is Texas A&M at 20. Another team that they could just absolutely float off this thing real fast. I believe they have a really awful schedule.
Who's their quarterback?
I mean, is it Wegman?
No, it's Haynes King, baby.
Oh, Haynes King's at Georgia Tech.
It's Georgia Tech. Sorry, wrong school.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about? Haynes King.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
I just talked to
him. We're getting our ACC streams crossed.
Oh God.
You want to talk about Haynes King? I like him. I dig that dude.
Hey, my Georgia Tech playthrough has probably been one of my most successful runs, and Haynes King is an absolute beast in that. I have, however, injured him to like beyond belief. I don't think he's capable of playing anymore. I really feel bad about that.
I have injured him to beyond belief.
I mean, I think he's gonna have to go coach. He's gonna have to go coach. He's not gonna have a career anymore. It is Connor Wegman, I believe. I believe we're going with Connor Wegman this year.
I think it's Connor Wegman. Yes.
This is another one where
Wegman.
after we've gotten rid of Jimbo, like I like Elko a lot. Like I've liked
Not
him.
this
I
year.
liked him. No, like this is not going to be it, man. It's going to take a while. I hope his contract, is as good as Jimbo's. Not as good because
No
They were
one's
gonna pay him all, like,
contract can be
guaranteed.
as good as Jimbo's.
I mean, they're not going to make the Jimbo mistake again.
you just wait.
think?
Are we
Just
sure
wait.
about that?
I disagree with
Give
you.
give it a decade. Give it a decade before they do it again.
That
Give
Jimbo
it a decade.
that Jimbo isn't at the Qatar campus like coaching cricket over
They
there.
closed down the car.
That's right. Shit, they closed down the
They closed down the Qatar campus.
damn because under duties as assigned, it's like, hey, we're still paying you. I need you to go out and coach cricket for our Qatar campus. Enjoy. Jimbo in just like 140-degree heat in the Middle East. Yep, that's what I need.
What if Ted Lasso was awful?
That's the most unsympathetic Ted Lasso.
Mike Elko's contract is a base salary of $7 million a year for 6 years, so it's only $42 million. I don't know if it's guaranteed, but Jimbo's starting out with $7.5 million
it's
guaranteed for
guaranteed.
10 years.
It is
It's guaranteed. There's money. Yeah.
He's going to get
So
all that
it's
money.
slightly
But
lower than Jimbo's.
the thing is Mike Elko walks in and he's walking into a house of horrors. And horrors.
I'm familiar with those House of Horrors. I'm very familiar with that House of Horrors.
And so he's walking in and he's like, man, I got to fix this locker room. I got to fix how we work. I got to fix all these little things. And that's not the same as walking in to what Nick Saban left Kalen DeBoer is, hey, even with the transfers out, you can still make dinner with this, baby. You still listen. What do you want? You want pasta? You want what do you want? We can do it. And what he's walking into, and he's like, I guess we're having salad and
You can put
tuna
licorice
from
on
a
salad.
can.
Yeah, it's a lot of like I have a half cup of really hard brown sugar, some black licorice, like 4 IKEA meatballs in a bag, and
There's a lot of barbecue sauce.
and like
Yo, we
It's
got
like-
mad
there's a lot
barbecue
of-
sauce in here. Yo.
There's a lot of barbecue sauce there.
Do you like Sweet
There's-
Baby
there's-
Ray's? Because we got that.
There's stubs. There's just pickles. You got a lot of pickles. You got
So many
it's all on the door.
Do you like
It's all on the
relish?
door. Just
And-
so many.
Yeah, and in this particular awful version of Chopped, you have to manage to get dinner on the table without the boosters eating you.
Yeah, because they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're hungry.
The Texas A&M struggle dinner challenge.
Oh no, you're not wrong. Like it's gonna be wild. Like it's good Lord, it's gonna suck. Like it's not gonna be fun
There's
for
an
him.
expired bag of coleslaw in
So-
the
oh
Yeah.
yeah, easy.
The Jimbo is in the walls.
Which you
But
know
also,
what?
The kitchen smells weird.
He would have been better off just buying
No.
cabbage by itself because like
They'll be okay.
cabbage keeps, but if you buy that bag of coleslaw, you are
gone.
fucked.
If you can get the defense like in order quickly,
I hope he
which They
can.
have a lot.
Which
They have a lot
theoretically
of
that's
talent.
Okay, knowing Jimbo and how he leaves programs, I feel the most concerned about their offensive line. I don't think it was great, and like that's a recruiting hole that's just hard to. Anyway, sorry. I feel like
Hard to
Yeah,
that's
fill. You're gonna say it.
Yeah.
Hard to
It is.
fill. It's a hole
Yeah, hard
that's
to
hard to fill.
sorry. I know.
There's-
I stopped myself.
No, there's
Well, I mean,
there's
A&M
beefy boys. But yeah.
A&M is an AP top 20 team. So
Yeah, I know. And why?
I got
Why?
that.
Why? Based on what? Why?
Vibes.
One
On a similar
reason.
note, I do
Five.
feel like we kind of skipped over Tennessee taking up its traditional spot at 15 because Tennessee is just out here taking up its traditional spot at 15.
yeah.
I
What
don't-
more do you want? That just feels right.
That's just where it lives.
I don't get it. I don't understand where like I've worked very hard to not talk about Tennessee.
Okay, we can.
I
we
mean,
can
that
skip
was
them.
really all I wanted to say. To just
Hidden.
note that Tennessee is in its home.
No.
Oh no, I'm not.
Elder did
there.
not
This
want to.
isn't me putting you like saying anything negative about you. This is me saying
No, he doesn't.
I don't understand why or how.
He doesn't.
Yep.
He doesn't want to volunteer any information about
Oh
Tennessee.
my
It's
God.
fine.
Oh Jesus Christ! Our beautiful Iowa Hawkeyes pick up the 25 spot right under
I
North
love
Carolina
it.
State at
Let's
24.
Perfect. I love
Standing
it.
on
It's
business.
perfect.
It's
Perfect.
beautiful.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
Perfect.
I
Give me
love it.
Iowa at 25. I love it. I love it.
Iowa at 25 is going to be the most dangerous team in the country. They're probably going to make the playoff. They are. No one's going to know a single player on their team, and they will win. I don't know, but they're probably going to win 10 games this year.
It's going
Our
to be
back-to-back Six
spectacularly funny when Penn State drops games to people that they absolutely shouldn't, and Iowa just marches past them.
Yep. That's a good call.
I look forward to my neighbors being furious.
Like I said earlier today, I did look at the Ferentz line to see what teams last year actually did not crack 25 points a game. There were 52 teams in FBS that did not get past 25 points a game. The Pitt Panthers were one of them. Hey, Pitt Girl.
Yeah, I know. I hate it here.
The best part of this is that Iowa was second to last in the country last year at 15.4 points a game. They won 10 games. Underneath them, Kent State, 14.7 points a game, won one game. It's, yes, sure, there's lots of things to help make that make sense, but it is just a funny stat. Is it funny also that the entire Big Ten West was under 25 points a game? Absolutely, that's hilarious. Because the jokes are funny when they write themselves.
And we don't have the Big Ten West like as a division anymore, but all of those teams are still there.
Those vibes are still there.
It's not like suddenly Iowa's going to flip over to having to play like that old Big Ten East schedule. Like they're not going to get all of the top teams. Like their schedule might get slightly tougher, but you talk about like they could still easily win 9 games because if you look at their schedule, like it's they still have a lot of those Big Ten West teams that they've been winning against for the past decade without scoring a lot of points.
So here's what I got. I got their schedule because you mentioned the schedule, right?
Yep.
Illinois State. That's a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iowa State.
That's a win.
Win. Iowa State in Kinnick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinnick, yeah.
All right.
Troy.
They should win.
That's a win.
Troy's going to fall back a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do think Troy might win the Sun Belt still, though.
Still.
I think it's going to take them a couple games to get into groove.
They're going to need to keep going.
At Minnesota. They can win that game.
That's a very winnable game.
They can.
So we're talking about a 4-0 football team now.
Revenge for the Florida Rosedale invalid catch. They're going to be fired up for that one.
Then they go to Ohio State. They lose that game.
Likely, yes.
They host Washington in Kinnick.
That feels winnable.
That's a win.
I don't know.
I don't know what Washington looks like. So yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
We're either looking at a 4-2 team or a 5-1 team.
Yeah.
At Michigan State. That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Should win that.
I mean, listen, my wife went to she's over here. She's over there. She went to Michigan State. She doesn't want to hear this, but that's a win. Northwestern is another win.
Yep.
Wisconsin. That's a rock fight.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I like 4-2.
7-3.
Yeah.
I will enjoy the hell out of that game.
Yes. The best.
It's going to be one of those where we're talking about like this score hasn't been. Last time we saw this score was before the forward pass was around.
Yeah,
we've never seen a 6-5 football game.
6-5. It's so gross.
6-5. God, give me a 6-5 game.
And the 6 is 3 safeties.
At UCLA.
Oh.
I forgot about that.
With Deshaun
That's a
Foster
conference
in
game.
His first year. And
they
Foster,
should win that, but
we saw him come out on stage and he was just like,
Mm-hmm.
That's a win.
Let's see if my father-in-law still has UCLA season tickets because this might get a lot more interesting to go out there now.
At Maryland is a win.
Yep.
That time of the year, yeah.
Nebraska.
That UCLA game's on a Friday.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Nebraska. That's a win.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at right now with Iowa for real?
That's 10 and 2.
10, 11 wins, theoretically.
We're back to, I mean, They went 10-4 last year. Like
this
we're
is
back to this
insane.
again.
Which means that they're going to be in the playoff.
Oh,
Likely.
The best thing for Iowa is
11 seed
maybe
Iowa.
we should lose to UCLA or Nebraska, one of the two, so we don't have to go to the Big Ten championship game, and we're just hanging around.
Yeah,
at 11. They're the 11th
Funnier than Penn State playing Ole Miss, I think, is Iowa playing Ole Miss. I think I'd laugh really hard at that game in the playoffs.
Oh,
I kind of would
think
love
about
that.
how mad Lane Kiffin would be the
So
He
whole
would be
time.
angry.
so
Oh my God.
mad,
I
so
love
mad,
that.
and how mad Kirk Ferentz would be at Lane. Oh God, I want that. I want
It
that
would
bad.
it would likely have to be in Mississippi, I would think, in Oxford. So
He
send
would
Kirk Ferentz in
lose his
Iowa and
mind.
Oxford.
I mean, it would have to be. Yeah,
Lane Kiffin would lose his mind.
I would
He would.
love it. I
He'd
would
be
love
so
it.
frustrated.
He's
I
like,
mean,
what are you guys doing? Can you just play football?
That we are.
They
Our
are.
version of it.
we do remember what happened when they played Tennessee last year in the Citrus Bowl, right? That was a 35-0, just
I was
absolute,
there.
Yes,
It
true.
was beautiful.
absolute gutting. And no,
Yeah.
It was
you know,
beautiful.
everyone remembers the fun Cheez-It branding. No one remembers the massacre on the field.
No, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Deacon Hill went through for 56 yards with 2 interceptions, y'all. Like, it was
They
not.
did break
rough,
the
buddy.
punting record. They did break
They
the
did.
punting
That
record.
wasn't
But
neat.
that's it.
Virgil did break the all-time season
Yes,
record
yes,
for punting
yes.
yardage and career.
And
Okay.
had fans with signs that said, "I'm just here for the punter," which was beautiful.
And I love it. I love it.
Anything else? The only other one that weirds me out is Washington dropping down that low. I don't know what Kalen DeBoer left for Jed Fish.
Nothing. He lost 21 out of 22 starters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
It's a whole new team.
But like, are we back down to, again, Washington has had this weird thing where they will be 1-11 and then 2 years later make it up. Like they're so hot and cold. This feels like it might be another like Washington to the bottom year. And
Okay, but didn't they have a coaching change when they did that? What didn't Kalen come in? Isn't that
Don't
when
they have a
Kalen came in?
coaching
Yes.
change now?
No,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
Jimmy Lake.
that was
That went
last year.
Oh, yes.
Kalen's,
yeah.
Jimmy
Kalen's
Lake.
first
Right, I'm
year
saying-
was okay.
Yeah,
Kalen's
that's what I'm
was okay,
saying.
yeah.
Kalen's was like late. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This is giving like early 2010s Auburn a little bit.
Mm.
God, I
Well,
hope not. I hope not for them.
I do
Auburn
like
up
maybe
the West.
the most like kind of like, I didn't think about that team being up there in this like top 25 towards the back is Arizona. One thing I like, so I'm looking at the official like AP website, and they have like an up down thing to indicate
No,
relative to
Washington
last
is
bowl.
having a coaching change because DeBoer's
right,
at Alabama.
right.
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 So
Yeah.
they brought in Jed Fish from
That's
Arizona.
what I was saying.
Right.
Is that going from the
Yeah.
low to the high may have been some of the coaching changes.
Right. So Washington is also fallen to also receiving votes, but it tells me as well that Arizona is 10 spots lower than they were in the final poll at the end of last season. Of course, they lost their head coach.
Yes,
They've gone through that whole transition. You know, that's one where there's a lot of question marks. I just find it funny that somehow people have settled on like, yep, I guess 21st. That's, I have no idea. That's a team I have no idea about.
Arizona was really good in that Alamo Bowl.
They were fun. They were fun,
yeah,
which is
They
crazy
were
thing
a
to
lot
say.
of fun, and I
They were
love
a
their quarterback
quiet,
who is
good
back.
team.
Right.
Who is back?
Oh,
They returned
he's
almost everybody.
back there.
Like,
I
nobody
thought
really
he transferred.
No, nobody, like almost nobody left. Like they kept that team together for the most part at Arizona with the new coach, and then you got Dino Babers running the offense now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I
So
forgot about that.
Then they got a new D coordinator, and then the head coach, Brett Brennan from San Jose State.
Yes, I love him.
You know, I like what they have. They could be a little bit of a dark horse like they were last year, but there was a lot of changes, but they kept the team together for the most part. So they could be a little bit of an underrated sleeper.
I dig.
Obviously Arizona, but I also Arizona, Louisville, Virginia Tech, and NC State obviously kind of climbs in a little bit at 24. With respect to the ACC, I think those teams they're going to be really good this year. Like there's contenders out of Louisville, out of Virginia Tech, and have you guys seen Kyron Drone?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
He's
For
humongous.
VTech?
Yeah, for Virginia Tech. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Like this dude is. It's
Everybody likes VT this year too.
yeah. I talked to Brent Pry, and he was just like, "Yeah, he built like a defensive end. This guy don't play no games." And I was like, and Brent Pry had on like boots at media day, and I was like,
Nice.
Like
this
cowboy
guy-
boots or like work boots?
Black?
like cowboy boots.
Oh,
That's a
this
great
Nice.
look.
this guy
That's
is
a great look.
6'2", 234. Woo!
Yeah. Brent Pry was like, he built like he looked like a defensive end, don't he? And I said, yeah, he do.
I love it.
And he was like, yeah, man, he's like, I didn't even, because we thought when they got Grant Wells from Marshall, Grant Wells was going to be like the answer for them.
Mhm.
And Grant Wells had some injury situations, and then Drones was just like, let me drive the car. And now he got the keys, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, he ain't driving a Camry.
No, they're going to be a lot of fun this year, which I know people have weird opinions of Virginia Tech based on how old you are. Like,
Yeah.
like for me, it's kind of nostalgic. The Virginia Tech like feels like they're bubbling up again. Some folks are like, Virginia Tech? What do you mean? They've always been like a third-rate like ACC team.
That's wild.
Right. Institutional memory is crazy. Because like same thing, like we
That's
talk
a
about
good point.
Miami. A lot of us have that the idea of like, oh, Miami's, was that machine. But like you said, if you're of a certain age, like Pitt Girl here.
Hey, no, I was actually just about to say I remember good VT. I do not remember good Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Time out.
Well,
Jesus.
No, we got to time this out. You remember
I'm 29.
good Virginia Tech, and
So like 2000 VT was good in like 2005 2007, right? Like that was like good VT.
Oh, what grade were you in 2005, 2007?
You
my
don't
God, do
no,
this.
What? Virginia Tech was good in 2005? Have you ever heard of Michael Vick?
I have heard of Michael Vick, yes.
In the history.
Yeah, but
she's read about them in the histories, yes.
She wasn't drinking in the bar watching Michael Vick in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl when she was 18, like myself. So,
bro, when Michael Vick Vick versus Peter Warwick, that's like an insane like moment.
yeah, she was 4.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Ed Reed taking the ball away from his teammate against Boston
BC,
College.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
my mom's family's from Miami, so I know the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s Miami. So,
but the fact
like,
that people don't even realize that BC was good.
Yeah.
BC good. Yeah.
Or remembering
Very
a
good.
time when Alabama wasn't. Like there are people for whom like Alabama has just always been good. They don't remember Mike Price. They don't remember, everything that happened.
They don't
before
remember
Nick
Mike
Saban.
Shula.
Oh, the Shula days.
Post
This
Sean
is another thing I
Alexander.
remember.
Once Sean Alexander left, it was just like, man, we suck now.
When we get to the offseason again, I stopped it because I got busy this summer, but we've been doing a thing where for a while we were talking about the best seasons of all time for the worst teams. So trying to find like the best Vanderbilt season. We did that. And then I started doing the worst seasons of all time for the best team. Mm-hmm. And Alabama's like bad season, it got real bad. When it gets bad, like
they lost to Southern Miss.
The mood turns real hard.
Oh yeah.
Same thing like at Texas when they were like burning effigies of the coach at that point. It was wild shit.
Dude, I went to UNC. And so for us, like, it's basketball, obviously. I'm not a huge basketball fan. But like when they hired Dean Smith in his like first 2 years, they were burning, like they were hanging him and burning effigies of one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. And it's just crazy. And by the way, Pitt, so you're missing out on like some Walt Harris shit.
Yeah.
Some Larry Fitzgerald shit.
I know.
Shady McCoy shit.
Yes.
Like, I love them dudes.
Except that Sun Bowl, but yeah.
But here's
I wasn't a Pitt fan yet for any of that.
Those
Baby
dudes
Me was
went
raised
hard.
an Auburn fan.
That's
All right.
Yeah, that was a time.
Were you there for Cam though?
I was not there. I grew up in Pennsylvania, but yes, I lived and died that season.
For Cam that season?
Yeah.
Dude,
And 2004 too is like the first like college football season that meant something to me, and I still hate USC. Like I'm still mad about all of that.
Yeah.
So,
dude, when Cam put the pedal to the metal and outran Patrick Peterson, I don't know that there's a better college football player. And I know people might say Vince Young, or they might say something with Tim Tebow, or they might say the Charles Woodson one-hand interception in 96. It was 96 or 97 where the one-hand interception with the toe tap. But Cam putting the pedal to the metal and just going ham versus Patrick Peterson against LSU. Let's go crazy. So this is what I do. This is how I live. And I will say this: North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, ACC fans better watch out for them because those teams are going to be a problem. I talked to Grayson McCall. Grayson McCall is listen.
I'm so excited about this.
Listen, man. If you're going to put stock in anybody, I'm putting my stock in a white boy with a mullet from Myrtle Beach.
But he cut the mullet.
Did he cut it?
Yes.
When? Because I saw him, he had a mullet. I saw him 2 weeks ago, he had a mullet.
I see the profile. Okay, so 2 weeks ago he had a mullet. In the profile picture for NC State, I don't see the mullet anymore.
I saw him. I saw him. I saw him in person with a mullet.
Let's hope the mullet survives.
Shave sides. Oh, by the way, speaking to Pitt, what's the tight end's name? Bartholomew?
Yes, Gavin Bartholomew, the pride of Schuylkill County.
Yo, let me tell you something. His hands are big as hell. He has humongous hands. 18 yards per catch. He said he's been sending Uber Eats to the quarterback. It starts with a Y. He's been sending Uber Eats to the quarterback to make sure that he feeds him the rock.
Sending Uber Eats to Nate Yarnell. All right.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, let me do our ad read, and then we'll get into the
Felder, we're gonna do our ad read here.
Okay.
We have a game and we have a picker wheel about what we do for the previews for the ACC. So we're gonna have you, and this is gonna be random questions coming out with the ACC. So we talked, but Jordan's gonna do the ad read real quick, and we'll get to the picker wheel. We have Conference USA up after. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to fit them in this pod, but
sorry.
We'll go ahead and we'll do that.
Well, we got plenty of time. Like I said, our plans are always just on fire as we can. We build the ship as we go.
We do not have rails.
We fly the plane as it whatever it is, and we're building the plane as we're flying it, and then we're living the dream. So go right ahead with the ads.
Folks, as always, check out our link tree on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky for all the discount codes we have. We have our Patreon. Right now is the time to get on it. If you're listening to this, you're probably already a member, but tell your friends. For $5 a month, you get access to our Discord where we talk about all sorts of stuff. Right now, I've been working on some preseason data projects and trying to find weird numbers, things like that. Also just wrapped up all my Olympics coverage, which was a ton of fun this year.
Sorry, you got mentioned in the Ringer for the aluminum table.
That was hilarious. Nice. We also have 3 podcasts behind the paywall as well, which is Commish's Corner. Yes, rah, 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 yes, which Beth and I are going to do another episode of soon, I promise. And we have just completed our Prairie View Chronicles, where we talked about the Prairie View A&M seasons, the 90-game losing streak.
80-game losing streak.
My bad. Don't do that. Oh, God. They'll come after me. And all the stuff around that. It's a really great series if you haven't heard it yet. We also have our merch store, sickoscommunity.org, with tons of new stuff, including koozies, magnets, wine glasses, stickers, shirts, foam trucker hats. We got it.
Yeah, we do.
We also have our YouTube page where we do our shorts, our Instagram, our Twitch account, all Sickos Committee, our Substack where we're doing our previews. We're finishing up FCS.
I got Conference USA coming out tomorrow.
Into FBS. We also have our preseason Sickos poll out, so please vote on that. The more votes, the better. Our master spreadsheeter has suggested that you don't need to put the whole name of your team in there, like the mascot as well. You just put like Pitt. It'll go to the right place.
It will, yes. Somebody submitted their vote and like spelled out the entire like university, like the full name.
Nope, don't want that.
Yeah, like the university's in trouble.
Also, I'm going to say this here because it isn't on the main account. Hey, Beth, just know that every mention of a couch joke is going to West Virginia.
Perfect.
That's right.
Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go the places we absolutely refuse to go because I like myself too much. And lastly, Home Field Apparel, the softest, comfiest collegiate apparel. Their platinum boxes just dropped. They look absolutely amazing.
I really enjoyed that Nebraska jacket, and then also that Montana State.
Yes.
The champions. Oh my God, that hat was amazing. I need that. Hopefully Bridget got that.
Did you see
Do you
Montana
guys know
State?
what's coming tomorrow? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, go ahead.
Tomorrow is your Florida State Seminoles.
Yes.
It is.
Katie.
A beautiful hat and a beautiful jacket.
All right, and I'm wearing my Carolina shirt in honor of our guest.
Oh, in the Pepperdine Waves. Yep.
Right. That's right.
I will say, by the way, I believe that New Mexico is opening as an 8.5 point home underdog to Montana State to open the season.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Bronco
great.
Mendenhall. All right.
If you haven't ordered from Home Field before, use our offer code yes, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. Check out those boxes because they are amazing.
Oh yeah.
And
you get the different size the boxes. So if you get the box, each piece in the box, you get to choose your different size. You don't have to choose the same size. So if you want to get a box and let's say maybe get one for your wife, one for your grandma, one for, your abuela who has no idea what you're talking about on a podcast, that is in town and you have to keep going over to their place and fix things.
getting too real.
Yeah, go right ahead and do that.
Getting too real.
You too.
Commish, will you start us off with our ACC preview while I go get some water to drink?
Oh, okay, I'll do that. All right, so welcome to the Super Sicko Spinning Selection Season Preview Forecast, a.k.a. the 5 SPF. We've got 99 questions, but a preview ain't one. So I'm going to go over the ACC standings for 2023. I'm going to add in the new teams first. We have Stanford last year, 3-9, 2-7 in the Pac-12. Cal, 6-7 overall, 4-5 in the Pac-12, and a loss in the glorious Independence Bowl in our home of Shreveport, Louisiana. Then you have SMU, 11-3 overall, 8-0 in the American, and also conference champs. They did lose to future conference mate Boston College in the Fenway Bowl. I believe it's the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, but not that wasabi that you get at a sushi. I can't even say sushi, but all right, beautiful. Then in the ACC last year, and not joining the ACC, you had Florida State, who was 8-0 in conference, and they went 13-0, and the bowl game didn't happen. Oh,
yeah.
Louisville, 7-1 in conference, 10-4 overall. NC State, 6-2 in conference, 9-4 overall. They did not get to taste the sweetness of strawberry Pop-Tart. Georgia Tech, 5-3 in conference, 7-6 overall, winning the Gasparilla Bowl. Virginia Tech, 5-3 in conference, 7-6 overall, Military Bowl win in the muddy Military Bowl. North Carolina, 4-4 in conference, 8-5 overall. Clemson, 4-4 in conference, 9-4 overall. Duke, 4-4 in conference, 8-5 overall. The Hurricanes, 3-5 in conference, 7-6 overall, with 2 fun losses on that schedule. Boston College, 3-5 in conference, 7-6 overall. Syracuse, 2-6 in conference, 6-7 overall. Virginia, 2-6 in conference, 3-9 overall. Pitt, 2-6 in conference, 3-9 overall. And at the bottom, Wake and Bake Forest, 1-7 in conference, 4-8 overall. Florida State won the ACC championship game in that glorious 16-6 fashion.
I'd forgotten all about that. By the way, I have now switched to drinking alcohol. I have some Woodford Reserve.
It's Kentucky Derby time.
I have just made a new jar of Rockin' Rye, which is my favorite drink in the world. And it is delicious and ready to go. That's why I said you finished. It was a little caliente for you.
Ooh,
I liked it. It tastes like Christmas.
It does.
I also liked it.
I don't know
Gotta
what that
send
is.
Felder.
What is that?
You got to send Felder a mason jar
So
of this
it's a
mixture
It's
here.
a mason jar. You fill it up with rye whiskey, rock candy, cloves, cinnamon, allspice, a couple of slices of lemon, a couple slices of
This
orange.
seems like too much work for me.
But then you
No,
sit
he
in the
just sends
jar.
it to you. He just sends it to you in the jar, and you just drink it. That's all you got to do.
That's the best part about it, is you just let it sit there, and the longer it sits there, the better it tastes. Although at some point the clove takes over, and it just tastes like clove, which I like, but I also understand that that's not everyone's favorite flavor. Oh, it also tastes like, it also has star anise in it. So if like licorice,
I was going to say.
I like star anise. I'd get down with that hard.
they're at the
All right.
at my local farmer's market, there's a little dude that always sells different, what are those Italian cookies, the little pizzole, no, what are they
Pit
called?
sales.
Those. And they have a star anise licorice one, and
Oh, yeah,
they stopped
I like
making it, and
that.
I went to ask for it, and they were like, why is it not here anymore? I asked why it wasn't there. They go, you're the only person that ever bought it.
Pit sales are supposed to have anise in them. Like, that's supposed to be a major flavor of them.
I know, but in the States, no one likes that flavor. Like, that's what, we're not absinthe or ouzo drinkers either. Let me get
I love it. So it tastes like ouzo?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
it.
ouzo.
It has a little bit of that the licoricey stuff.
I grew up
to it.
around
Also,
like this. I grew up around a lot of like Greek people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I ouzo is very high on my radar. I love ouzo.
Beth, do you ouzo?
I like ouzo.
Okay. Well, that's what you and I are drinking when we hang out then.
Okay.
I love
That'll work.
ouzo. Like ouzo
Not
is
affordable.
like without a doubt, ouzo is one of my top like liqueurs, if you will.
Same.
Like I love ouzo. Like I'm in.
I
But
was going to
listen,
break out the Macallan Rarecast, but we can do ouzo. Ouzo's
We can
fine.
do both. We can do both. What if you
Oh, Lord.
hold up an ouzo Macallan cocktail?
Oh
Now,
my
I'm
god,
thinking
no,
here-
bad.
you guys ever show up here, you know what we're drinking. Wild Turkey 101.
Oh yeah,
That was the first shot of liquor I ever took in my life.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
And
I was-
fresh.
and you
I
live
never
to
drank-
tell the tale.
I did. I did. I'd never drank before, and the first thing I ever had in liquor was a shot of Wild Turkey 101.
Folks, do
Oh
you
boy,
know,
did that burn!
do you know how many teams are in the ACC this year?
Too many.
17.
17.
17.
17.5 if you count Notre Dame.
No, I don't.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
religiously I cannot do that.
Neither do
Because
they.
we
Okay.
talked about this already. Like if they're not
Lent.
if Notre Dame's not in the top 11, 12,
Mhm.
they're not going to the playoff. So that doesn't count.
Fair enough.
I can't wait till you get Notre Dame coach lobbying.
Oh, it's going to
Oh.
be great when yeah, that's going to be beautiful, especially when they beat a USC. Imagine USC is not great, but that's their capstone win of the year, and Notre Dame
USC
has
is
to
gonna
lobby
do
to
that.
get off that.
They're Jules Shillelagh of the year.
I love that one. So I'll scroll
Let's go.
first for our team. We have number 14
Yeah.
Clemson, and our random fact
Clemson.
we're going to learn about is what is this team's odds on making a bowl game? Let's say the playoffs. What is
Yeah.
Clemson's chance 1 to 10 of making the playoffs? I
10.
mean, yeah, it's pretty high considering if they can beat 1 or 2 teams, like they're good. In fact, they don't have to beat Georgia.
They just have to beat Florida State, and then they're in the playoff.
That's it. Yeah. So
I can see a scenario where they go 10-2, and they lose to Florida State and
And they're
Georgia,
still
and
in
they
the
still
playoff.
sneak in. Yeah. I'm gonna give it like a 9.
I said 10.
Yeah, I'm with Felder on this one. This is 10. Okay. Easy enough preview, unless anyone else has any strong Clemson opinions.
No, we already talked about them. We're good.
I also know this
We
podcast.
did talk about Clemson already.
We did.
What's our Duke fact? Who's their heaviest player, non-offensive tackle or DT? Let's see if their roster
Not the heavy. So not the heaviest positions.
the heaviest player. Yeah, but
Yeah,
not
but you
that
said, but
positions.
not the heaviest positions.
I know.
Yes.
So who else are their beefy dudes? Of course, if you type Duke roster 2024,
Linebacker.
get
I'm not
basketball.
looking it up. I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to say it's a linebacker.
probably
All right. Well, the roster let us sort by weight.
does.
Thank God.
God, I love these nice new ones. They do have someone listed at 157, a wide receiver, a freshman wide receiver. 6'2",
Oh.
157. Oh, Oh Lord,
Sweet baby, please eat a sandwich.
Oh, I played with a guy that was like that, and we called him Stick. He's now an Instagram influencer that does CrossFit.
Their quarterback Malik Murphy, redshirt sophomore, is 6'5", 238.
Okay, there we go.
I think he's our
next. That's their next heaviest player.
There's a tight end at 241, I think.
Oh, he's a blocking 6'4", 241. That's a blocking tight end. Nikki
241's not a blocking tight end. That guy's a move.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, at that speed, yeah, at that height too.
Yeah,
we also have a we've got a defensive end too. Did we exclude defensive ends from this discussion?
So we can throw in defensive ends, sure.
Yeah, we got a D who's 6'3", 278.
Yeah, Wesley Williams. Okay.
Yeah.
Their biggest dude is 330, by the way.
Their biggest linebacker I see is 235.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Little boys. They're going to get moved around a lot.
There you go, Duke. There's your beef. Virginia Tech is up next.
All right.
Who's their long snapper?
That's all we get to talk about. Virginia Tech's long snapper.
I don't know. William Wallace.
Always finding out about these people who are like these specialist positions.
I truly am. I'm really good friends with two of our long snappers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they come to like my kids' birthday parties.
What is
That's
this
awesome.
roster, Virginia Tech? What is this website? It's like
I do not like this.
There's
roster.
2 columns. What is going on with these columns, Virginia Tech?
Everyone has this different system, and it all sucks.
Yeah, it's like I love Duke's website. I can sort by weight, but here it's just like I can't. It's just like a list.
Griffin Armstrong?
That's the one I keep seeing.
So he transferred in from La Tech.
Mm-hmm. Anything interesting about him?
La Tech to Va Tech.
Yeah.
La Tech to Va Tech. I love that.
Grew up in South Korea, born in Valencia, Spain. Okay.
What is it, military brat?
Probably.
It looks like it.
Is from Blacksburg. Originally.
Yeah,
that's weird. Okay.
So military brat.
Has to be, yeah.
That sounds about right, yeah.
At Osan American High School in South Korea, yeah, has to be.
He was born in Valencia. Do you think he has the lisp?
Griffin Armstrong, yes. Thank you for putting the pronunciation.
I thought that was only a Barcelona thing.
No, it's Valencia as well.
Oh wow, amazing!
I love that.
My ex-husband was an exchange student there.
I do love that they go on here and they give us pronunciations, like the players saying their own names, which is so useful. Mm-hmm. But then you have like Griffin Armstrong saying his name, and guess what it is? It's Griffin Armstrong. Got it. Thank you for your help.
Also, I will say this: a lot of times they say their names wrong.
Do they?
Not. Hang on. Wrong is not the right. Wrong is not the right way to say it. They say their names the way their names have been said the whole time.
Okay.
And then a lot of times when they get to NFL, they are like, it's actually this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a controversy at Pitt this past season where one of the quarterback, his dad and him told different ways to pronounce his name.
Yes.
Like the dad said one thing and the quarterback said something else.
Yes. And so we had the same thing. I went to school with Sean Drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got to the NFL and all of a sudden his name was Sean Drone. And we're like, well, we called you Sean Drawn for 3 years.
Why didn't you say something? Yeah, no, right.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's all. That's it.
No, I get that. I grew up in South Texas, so I speak pretty good Spanish. And so when I was still teaching, it was always a lot like, oh, my last name is, Gonzalez or Rodriguez. It's super flattening it out. Okay, no, I get that. We have Cal next, which again, Cal is in the ACC.
All right, what do you got for me for Cal?
Let's see what we got. Wheel.
Look at their schedule, the Oregon Trail. Which game is going to be their death by dysentery? Which is the game that's going to rip Cal apart?
At Auburn, you have died.
Jesus
Christ. At Auburn, you have died.
No. What's the second part? They have a back-to-back cross country.
At Florida State.
There it is.
So they do this. They go at Florida State, back home against Miami, and then at Pitt.
Ugh.
Is there a Syracuse game in there too?
Syracuse comes to them in November.
Okay.
They're at Wake Forest though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the Wake Forest is the one.
Wake Forest dysentery. That's it.
That Florida State, Miami, Pitt, NC State, where they're
away
home. They're all back-to-back weeks. Like, that's awful.
There's no bye.
They spend basically the whole season doing that because they start with UC Davis and then they're at Auburn and then they go back to play San Diego State before they play Florida State. This is terrible.
They have a week off between Florida State and Miami.
That's pretty fair. Yeah. Dysentery doesn't sound that bad.
The disease where you stick yourself until you die?
I mean, not
there are worse ways to die.
But you can lose a lot of weight.
That's what they always said about cholera. It was good for dropping pounds. Get you underweight.
Drop some lbs, and you're just like, hey man.
Was that scurvy too? I don't know.
Scurvy makes your teeth come out.
Consumption was always the hey, you're beautiful, and now you're dead.
Yeah.
Why is consumption so emotionally like fraught?
I don't know, because we all watched Tombstone growing up.
Because that's also what's her face, Nicole Kidman, Moulin Rouge. She had the consumption, right?
Yes, she coughed daintily into a handkerchief and died.
She coughed blood. So did Doc Holliday. Like that's what it is.
I mean, Arthur Morgan too. I mean, what's going on?
I guess it's because it's not like a super gross way to die. Because you still, coughing lightly.
I mean, your lungs are turning into soup. Let's be clear here.
True.
All I'm saying is dysentery is just like scrambled up. Like, I'm going to have diarrhea a lot. And that's, you know what? There's people that have that every day because they eat McDonald's.
Next team.
Some of us just have rumbly tummies. And we have to, as I've gotten older, I can't eat as much fat as I used to, or else I get a rumbly tummy. I had my what's that thing you need? Gallbladder. I had my gallbladder out. So apparently, when you get that out, fats are no good. Florida State.
Oh my god!
Right, speaking of a rumbly tumbly, Florida State. And our question is going to be for them. Talk about their stadium. I've never been to Doak Camp. Katie, tell me about their stadium.
I love it, but I'm partial and biased.
You're biased as
hell. I'm very biased, obviously. They've made several updates. The bleachers, most of the seats are still bleachers, but they've added luxury seats, like the varsity club. Oh, do you guys want to hear a fun story about the varsity club?
Yeah,
yes.
So, my dad played at Florida State. I went to Florida State. It runs in my blood. And when Jimbo left and we hired Willie Taggart, the first game of Willie's first season was Virginia Tech at Florida State. And my dad was excited. He was like, you know what? New era. Let's go. Let's get tickets in the varsity club. Or is it the varsity club? Champions Club. Champions Club is what it's called. Anyways, got tickets in the Champions Club. We're sitting in our seats. We're so excited. Kickoff happens. And it literally, that first play, I remember, first series probably, I think it was after kickoff, just a horror show. And I remember my dad and I both looking at each other and being like, this is a disaster. It spent so much money on those tickets and we, it was just, it was bad. It was not great. Anyways, the stadium, I generally speaking loved it. I don't know if this is still true, but all of the football, cafeteria athlete facilities used to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that still is. They may still be. I'm not positive, honestly.
That was a Jimbo thing. That was a huge Jimbo thing.
It was to new facilities for that. Yeah,
that was a huge Jimbo thing that he picked up from Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I actually thought about this. He isolated to get to make them stay in the facility all day.
Right. Oh, so you mean so they don't need to go other places to do things? Everything's right there.
Yes.
Wikipedia informs me that the facade around Doak Campbell is the second largest continuous brick structure in the world after the Great Wall of China.
Okay.
Oh.
I used to have to give that fact. I used to give tours of Florida State. I was also a university ambassador, and I used to give that fact on my tours.
I want to know what a walking tour of Florida State, like what's the official, like what are the official talking points from the school? Because I know how I would describe Florida State, but I guarantee that's not how they want to describe it.
There's so much. We have an auditorium on campus that was called Ruby Diamond Auditorium, and we used to call her a gem of a student. I can tell you the jokes. Those are the only things I remember.
So this was like the Jungle Cruise. Like you had Jungle Cruise level jokes here. Okay.
Totally. Well, there were like actual talking points, but I could not tell you any. I don't remember any of that. I just remember the jokes, all the jokes. Like the Ruby Diamond Auditorium being a gem of a student. There was a joke that we used to make about the magnetic field, and I don't remember that one. Something about like being attracted to the school. I can't remember that one. It was it was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, the largest, second largest continuous brick structure. Yes,
I dig. How about Stanford? Again, an ACC team.
That's right.
They also won the most medals, I think, of any university at the Olympics. Go Stanford. Not surprising.
Go ACC.
ACC.
If their head coach weren't a football coach, what job would they have? This is their new dude. I can't remember his name.
Troy Taylor.
Troy Taylor.
Thank you.
He'd be a high school football coach, or he'd be a history teacher that's a high school football coach.
Yeah, this is a ball coach. Like this is just what he wants to do.
Yeah, this guy he's not special. I don't say that as a negative. Like talking to him, like he reminds me of my friend Wayne Cook. Like this is a guy that just he just wants to make sure his players know what they're doing. He wants to make sure that they're in the right position. He also wants to make sure that after football, they're set up for life. So I'm not joking right now.
No, I mean, that's who else? Like that's, he played at Cal.
He's not using them for anything. Like he's like,
no.
I want these guys to live the best life they could have.
And like that's exactly what Stanford wants from their head coach. I mean, like what more could you possibly want as a head coach at Stanford than someone who's gonna occasionally take the chunk out of someone's ass, like as the team, but also just get your guys there. I mean, that's all Stanford really wants out of it. Yeah, a guidance counselor would also work for him. But like
guidance counselor, yes, very good.
Dude would
but
be
like an actually active guidance counselor.
Oh yeah, not the ones that just sort of sit in the yeah. Oh, been there, done that. Yep.
He'd walk you like down in the hallway and be like, "Hey man."
The overly active guidance counselor, yes.
You get the fist bumps in the hallways, knows everyone by their first name. Yeah.
You know what? I'll say this. He might be the clerk of course at a swim meet.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I dig.
Who doesn't know what that is?
I know because of your podcast, Clerk to Clerk.
Yeah, that's all I know too.
But yeah, he's the guy that's going to get everyone lined up and make sure that they know where they have to go and do that. So yes, that's what he is. 100%.
I still think he's a Cal sleeper agent at Stanford. At some point, someone's going to read like the right Russian words, and he's going to wake up and just burn Stanford's program down from the inside. Like, no. He's going to dump extra staff on the couch.
I think he wanted to go to Stanford, and he had to go to Cal, and now he at least gets to be at Stanford.
Oh, he was at a safety school.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's okay. Hey, kids out there, sometimes you go to a public school. Cal's fine. They've got enough Nobel Prize winners. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
They got plenty.
And then he got that Stanford opportunity. He was like, hell yeah, dog.
That's absolutely, yeah. And now
fuck with me, Gumby.
Oh, what's the name of the position? Stanford football coach is it's an endowed chair.
Yes,
it's like the what is it?
I don't know. Some lady and man's something head coach.
Yes, they're also their athletic director. It's the Bradford M. Freeman director of football, the Andrew Luck director of offense, and the Kevin M. Hogan quarterbacks coach. Everything there is sponsored.
And they brought that to Michigan too.
They
did.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, Harbaugh was that.
It is the It has been, the position is endowed by a gift by George 69 and Deborah Couch. I don't know
Deborah,
what the
yes.
name of it is. Endowed positions at Stanford Department of Athletics. Oh my God, there are so many of them.
You're not going to run
they're
every
all.
list. Yeah, this is the Ivies do this too, where everything's like an endowed position. Orchestras do this too. Sometimes you'll see like the endowed harp player position or something like that, or the endowed saxophonist. Next up is
the orchestra.
For this, every once in a while, because they don't need a saxophone very often, so they'll have an endowed position, like for when you want to do French shit.
For when you want to do Ravel and nothing else.
Well, when you want to do like Mio, creation of the world shit, you got to bring someone in.
Can we just take a second to appreciate the Andrew Luck Directorship of Offense, a real title you can have at Stanford?
Oh yeah,
amazing.
That sounds like the most like fucking put that in my LinkedIn. I'm adding that on my LinkedIn.
I need to put stuff to my LinkedIn so I can get a fucking job.
I was just there we go. With our vast sickos wealth,
we're gonna endorse you.
For what? What are we endorsing Felder for?
I'm sure he's good at Excel.
I am fucking dope at Excel, but
see, told you.
You have survived. That makes sense.
Next up, we have SMU, my beloved ponies, my local team, and a pair watching this team's game with an alcoholic beverage.
Not the narcotic portion?
No, not the
narcotic, because that would have been cocaine.
That's an easy answer.
Yeah, cocaine's easy for them. What are we doing?
Nothing's more fun at SMU than walking to the press box because you have to go buy the luxury boxes. Going up, it's fine, but coming back down, there's just people pouring out of these things into the hallway, and they want to hug you and give you high fives. It's hilarious.
All right, so let's just all. What do we have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there's there's 6 of us. Let's all just go one at a time, and we'll just say it. I'll start. Yeah. I am gonna say Miller Lite. They're gonna have a Miller Lite, and that's what they're gonna have. They're not gonna do anything special. They're just gonna have a Miller Lite.
I'm gonna go with a moderate champagne here because they have money and they want you to know that they have money. Also, I have seen more tents with chandeliers at tailgates at SMU than anywhere else.
More than Ole Miss?
I've never been to the Grove, so that might be it. But more champagne and more canapes. This was also like they were super into their ACC shit when I was there too, which made it really fun.
They are going to be best friends with Virginia, and for this reason, Zima.
Okay, a malted beverage, gross,
but like a fancy one.
Yeah.
I think that they are a flight at a distillery that does like one spirit really well and is just introducing all the other spirits into their menu. So like it's very uneven. You're gonna leave it just as plastered as you wanted to be, and let's just not talk about how we got there.
Got it, Katie.
I'm going with a martini, which is the cocaine of alcoholic drinks.
Truth, Commish.
Wow.
For some odd reason, I just think that they're all drinking IPAs. They're drinking local craft IPAs. That's it.
They did have a nice local craft beer selection when I was there.
They're all drinking like flights of their local craft beer IPAs, wherever, whatever the tap, the nearest tap house to SMU Stadium. That's what they're drinking.
Probably Community or Lakewood or Deep Ellum. Yeah,
they're definitely having a little bit of that Texas Revolver, Blood and Honey IPA or whatever it is.
It's not an IPA. It's a wheat beer. It's delicious.
I mean, yeah, but it's like 7 to 8%.
Yeah, it'll fuck you up real fast.
It'll mess you up. It will.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and circle back and I'm gonna critique one UVA to the Zima, top notch. Also fits with UNC. No notes. Top notch. Champagne. You can't drink champagne that long. You're really going to hurt your body very badly. You will have heartburn.
Real fair.
It's not going to feel really good for you. Now, martini is the cocaine of drinking. And that, to me, seems like someone who's never had a Jaeger bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
I have actually, but
I've had way too many of those.
Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb,
weird,
Jaeger
weird,
bomb, Jaeger bomb.
weird.
I love them
It's
so
led to
much.
some
but a
interesting Mardi Gras
martini, like if
nights.
you do a martini right, it's technically like
I'm
3 or
just
4
saying, I wrote down
shots.
notes.
It's
Just so you
it's a
know,
lot.
No, this is good.
notes.
He's making
We're
notes
talking
here.
like vodka or
I
just
wrote down some
martinis.
notes.
Uh-oh.
All right, what else we got?
I do.
Are we
next up is
doing all the teams? Because I'm
yeah.
fucking exhausted, dude.
We're gonna blast through these.
You can-
Virginia next.
You can leave whenever you need to. It's okay.
No, I'm not using that one. What is a 1-star review for the University of Virginia on Google?
I couldn't even read it. You
Sorry,
X'd
I
out of
passed it. What 1-star reviews for the University of Virginia on Google? Let's see if they have any. They've got.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They have to.
Yeah, just read one.
They only have one review.
It's a 4-star.
What?
Damn.
What?
A+ health standard. That's it.
That's it.
All right, go to the next thing.
Yep. Next, we did it. Wake Forest, and our question is: who is the most famous alumni from Wake Forest?
Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real easy one.
All right, next one.
Done. North
Duncan.
Carolina.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Our question is: how brave or cowardly is their non-conference schedule in 2024?
Hang on, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, I'm looking.
oh my God.
What?
Non-con
Yeah, they're non-con.
Oh, at Minnesota.
at
That's
Minnesota.
fun.
That's a repeat.
Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina Central, and James Madison.
Now that one,
JMU.
I think it's brave.
going to Minnesota week 1 is a weird one, and then the James Madison at home, like that's.
Bro, if Charlotte comes in there and beats the wheels off them, they're in trouble.
The week 1 game is on Thursday.
Oh,
Those week
I
1
know.
games spread out so weirdly sometimes. God,
That's my kid's first week of school, first week of first grade.
y'all start that late?
Yeah, man. Listen, you think I'm happy about it?
I mean, my kid started last Thursday, like so
not.
early.
Do you think it's fun for me?
he wants to close down the pool already.
Of course it is. No, you want to. The kids at home. Everyone loves summertime. No,
No, this shit sucks, dog.
Get him out the house.
and my
But
kid got
here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword. It's fucking. I have to get up at 6:15 in the morning to make sure we're ready to leave at 7:17 minimum. But that's better than all day you're just here and I got to make lunch for you to go to the pool. You got to think.
He wants to shut down the pool.
Let me tell you,
I'm trying to shut down the pool, dude. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. Oh my God.
We got Louisville, and our question is: rate the school's band uniforms 1 to 10.
Oh,
I'm gonna guess they have pretty standard band uniforms.
I recall them being very boring.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I play sports, bitch. I never fucking watch. I'm not calling anyone a bitch. I'm just saying I play sports, bitch. I didn't watch the band. You know where I was at halftime when the band was playing?
in the locker room.
In the locker room.
Huh?
Missing the best show.
Never seen them. Don't know.
Okay, the ones I'm seeing, I'll drop in the chat, are good. I kind of like them.
These are like high school ass uniforms.
They're okay.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I have to look up Louisville.
Yeah. I do like
the ones with
the Gothic L on the SICKO on the hat. I really like. I like that look.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, it's so.
Are we looking at the one with the diagonal, that diagonal stripe thing?
Yeah, these are like DeMullen, like very basic.
we
I've seen this on 1,000 groups.
My mom would freaking cream her jeans over those.
It's like the little like angry cardinal on the jacket.
Yeah,
like
they're
the
cool. I like the big tufts on the top.
I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
My mom was in band at ECU.
Hell yeah, pirate band.
Go Pirates.
Yeah.
Do you know how psycho it is to watch your mom come over and show your 6-year-old how to read music?
Oh, hey, like I come by this naturally. Said I was a band director. Beth's a musician.
Yeah, I know you know music. Yeah,
my kid is never going to be built for football. So we're already working on here's band stuff. You're going to be a band kid.
Yeah, my kid does swim and swim and piano.
There you go. That's all you need.
And my dad, my mom, my wife can all read music, and so I'm just like, this isn't a thing for me.
My favorite thing was always when I was teaching in a small enough school where like the football players would also be in band. And so you'd have the dudes like throw off the pads for halftime and just go out and march it and then go out and play the second half. I was always incredibly impressed by that.
That's insane.
The last band that I coached, the drum major that we had, was a two-way player. He was their best defensive player and a really nice tight end on offense. Like, and he would come out and direct for halftime. Like, that kid's cardio was wildly good.
Can't even imagine.
This is insane because this is why you guys are the Sickos committee, because this is crazy.
It is crazy.
I love this kid based solely off this description, Beth.
Yeah, I mean,
we love tiny little Western PA, Central PA high schools.
He took off the helmet, but he kept the pads on, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
he directed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I love this picture.
Yeah, he was a trombonist.
Of course he was.
Great kid.
That's so wild. That's
you never hear about football player clarinetists. I won't lie.
And this is not in particular.
My mom played the clarinet.
This is one of the biggest high schools in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
This is wild.
Yep.
This is great.
Because usually when you get to like a certain point, like I said, I went to the went to the Texas 6-man high school football championship last year, like where all the schools are like 10 kids or like 50 kids. And not only are the players on the team playing both ways, like they're also part of the cheer squad. They're also the spirit team. They're also like everything else. And it's amazing to watch these guys come up. I talked to some of them at the game. I was like, how do you even do this? Because like, it's a track meet.
I never played offense in high school. I didn't play offense in high school. I played only defense exclusively. The only time I played offense was when they were like, hey, we need a headhunter to go out and hit a crackback block. That's it.
And these guys, you always see positions like quarterback / DB.
Yeah.
And that's just what they play.
But my high school, I went to my high school had what? We had 2,600 kids.
Okay, it was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we got next? Who's next?
I'm sorry, I got next. Off. Georgia Tech. No. And our question is
Haynes King.
What's your favorite alt uniform / helmet for this team?
Oh,
it's Navy's.
Thank you. You got it. You beat me to it.
Yeah, that's an easy one on that.
Yeah, asked and answered.
Next up. Syracuse.
Uh-oh.
And guess do they play weeknight games?
They have Syracuse
to.
Always plays like a Friday
game.
So that's what they do.
So what are their weeknight games this year?
All right, let's see.
They have Pitt on a weeknight. I know that.
All right.
Oh god, that's a Thursday game.
It's a Thursday night game. It is at Heinz Field.
Hold on. Home against Stanford on a Friday.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's my favorite Syracuse spot. Pitt, Friday night in the Dome.
At Pitt on a Thursday.
In October.
UNLV on a Friday.
I was up.
UNLV on a Friday.
Damn it, you beat me to it. I was going to say at UNLV on a Friday.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In the giant Roomba. Vegas? Like they go to Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to tell you something. If I'm Syracuse, provided that we win that game, obviously, I'm giving these kids their per diem, straight up cash, boom, boom, boom. And I'm saying, hey, we're going to fly home on Saturday. That's what I'm doing, personally. Like, if
give it to them in chips. Just give it to them chips already.
No, I
You
don't.
think-
They don't have to get it in chips. You can get it in cash. Get it in cash because guess what? Maybe somebody doesn't want to gamble. Maybe
they
somebody
gonna be
wants to go to the
staying-
club.
Are they
Right.
they're staying in the Luxor? I mean, what hotel are they staying in?
I mean, that Luxor's closest.
Oh,
that's what
It's the
dude.
closest to the stadium.
Everyone
Do you-
can bunk their heads on the angular elevators.
Do you know that? Do you know that no one gets the only person that gets points for this is the person that books the trip?
Oh, really? That's
What?
lame.
So like the traveling secretary, like it's all
Yeah.
point.
I talked to Justin Wilcox about I'm not making this isn't a joke.
Oh, I don't think you're joking.
No, not at all.
I talked to Justin Wilcox about this.
They can't share the
And-
points. You gotta be
And I
kidding me.
said, "Do you get points for this travel?" And he was like, "Oh shoot, it's a good question." And I was like, "Yeah, man, do you get points?" He goes, "I hope the players do." And he goes, "I don't think they do." He goes, "I know I don't."
They need to get frequent flyer miles at least for sure.
No, they don't get. They get no frequent flyer miles. They don't get
come
hotel
on.
points.
And you're wondering
Nothing.
why the athletic department secretary can like fly around the world every
That's right.
offseason.
They're traveling
this-
everywhere.
It's wild to me. I'm like, yo, this is one of the biggest things in my life. Doesn't say much about my life, but still.
How about some Boston College? And our question is, are there any Australians on the Boston College team this year?
Yes,
Well, and-
3.
There has to be
Wow. Like off the top of
Wow.
his head.
some. Boom.
Asked and answered.
I'm just gonna go with that, yeah.
Yeah, we're calling it. Next up is we have
I
two
got it
more.
right.
Oh, I don't know.
He sounded so
Sound-
confident.
You're
He said
confident.
yes, 3. Like I mean, he went to ACC media days. We trusted him.
There is one actually. He's their punter,
Okay.
Sam Candati. He's got a delightful mustache. He also
I
played
learned that
in
from
all
my
13
dad.
games as the primary option of BC's punter platoon, while also
Wow.
serving as the Eagles' placeholder. Okay, punter. Jesus Christ, punter platoon is now something I'm going to have to do some graphics for.
Wait. They also got like a linebacker from Mexico City.
They have an offensive lineman
Yes.
from Senegal who came from the NFL Academy.
Okay,
So
Okay.
I have lots of questions.
they've also got transfers from Cornell and Yale. This is going to be I'm now way more interested in this team, just in terms
Yeah.
of backstory from everyone. Okay, cool.
That's all right. You can follow a Bill O'Brien coached team.
I love
Oh.
Bill O'Brien.
That's right.
That's all right, Bill O.
I talked to him, dude. He came up when he came up to our table on Radio Row. He goes, he was like super standoffish, and like everyone was like, everyone's called him an asshole for a long time.
Right.
And I was like, hey man, do you know Ronnie McGill? And he goes, oh, I love Ronnie. I said, yeah. Ronnie's one of my good friends. He goes, how do you know Ronnie? So we played together at UNC. And he goes, you know Ronnie? I said, yeah. We're the same number. We were number cribs. We were 20, both. I was 25 defense. He was 25 offense. He goes, oh. And then he just opened up like a flower.
Just got to find that one thing. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Just
I will-
opened up like a flower.
The Bill O'Brien flower.
BC's DC is Tim Lewis, by the way. He played at Pitt, but more interestingly, his last 5 years of coaching have been with the 2019 Birmingham Iron, 2020
Iron.
St. Louis Battlehawks.
Like, do you not know how to say iron?
Iron?
No,
Iron?
Iron. He's been
Iron.
drinking
Iron.
now.
Iron.
That's weird.
Thank you.
2022 Houston Gamblers, 2023 Arlington Renegades. He did 4 years in like spring ball, and now he's back to DC. That's amazing.
Nice.
He did the full
Good.
tour. Love it. And picked up an XFL championship as well on the with
How many teams do we have left?
2 more. NC State.
Felder's trying to survive.
You said 2 more after the last one.
I was wrong. I counted it wrong. How many Jimbo Fisher buyouts is this school's endowment? If we use the 80 million thing, NC State
This is
endowments.
endowment.
They're big.
2.03
State?
billion.
Yeah.
I think this is it's probably I don't know how to do this in math. Oh, good thing I brought my calculator.
Oh.
There we go.
So I think their endowment
we
is
broke out Felder's
probably
calculator.
I
Yes,
didn't- 25-ish.
25.
I think it's 4.25.
80 million to like 25-ish Jimbo Fishers, I believe.
Yes.
And then
So I got that right?
Close
yes, close.
And then last but not least is Miami.
Oh,
I can't wait for this question.
Does Miami have a fullback on the roster?
I mean, Mario Cristobal? Maybe.
Miami hasn't had a fullback.
Do they have
Miami
roster?
hasn't had Miami hasn't had a. When's the last time Miami had a fullback? They haven't had a fullback since. No, that's Florida State.
Yeah.
Miami's not a fullback team. Miami is an A-set 12 personnel team.
Yeah, there's no way they would have one on this roster.
No, I don't see anybody. Jordan, I have bad news for you. I don't think we did Pitt.
Oh, do we skip Pitt?
You did.
Oh, there we go. Now one more than Pitt.
That's fine.
No. I want to go. No,
What is the closest national park to Pitt?
It's
the one in Ohio.
Yeah. I've never actually been through this park, but the Ohio Turnpike I think goes through it, so I've driven through it.
Okay.
What is the one in Ohio called?
Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and it's weird because it's like, I mean, it's a national park, but it's not like the way that you think of them as national parks. Like there are towns inside of it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, weird.
Okay, so Felder,
I'm way more interested in the Miami fullback thing.
Oh yeah.
No, there was nothing. They didn't have one.
But when's the last time they had one? Is the question.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because Miami, that's the reason that we call them TEU.
Right.
Because they used to run double tight end sets, which means they didn't use a fullback. That was something that Jimmy Johnson started because it was way easier to have two tight ends, two wide receivers wide, one running back, which gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the whole entire field is open to you, and you can run either play to either side. And
Google's AI is like so awful. It said the last one was Jarrett Payton. I'm like, no, he was a running back.
He was just a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful. I can't.
I'll have to look this up because now I'm curious about the answer.
They did play two running backs, and they used to play those two running backs in
Maurice Higgins in 2011. But that was like Higgins. But that was like from 24/7 Sports. I don't even know if he made the roster. He was a recruit.
It's hard to tell.
Google's awful.
It's also hard to Google because I keep getting Dolphins players.
The Miami Hurricanes may have found a new fullback in Mike Smith, and that was 2017.
No.
Okay,
and
so
Maurice Higgins did make the roster
and did play a bunch. So yeah, he might be like the last guy name.
Mike Smith.
We beat Miami in 2004 when we played Miami, and this is during my peak skipping class in college. Gerald Sensabaugh, longtime Cowboy safety, he told me, he said, listen, they don't use a fullback. Why don't they? I said, why? And then he took me into the film room, and we spent a week of watching Miami play. And this is when they had Brock Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's what they do. They put two tight ends out here. They had this one big ass dude, number 15, Ortega, I believe was his name. And they had another guy. And then they had two wide receivers. And they had a running back, and he was like, here's what they do. They just make it so your team is completely like you can't do anything. Here, I'll show you guys. Here.
All right. Brock Berlin, Shreveport legend.
Yes.
Evangel.
So, boom, 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 boom. And then you have a tight end here. Tight end here. Tight end here. And then you just have this guy, quarterback, running back. And that's all. This is all they did. the whole time.
Huh.
So it's the same going either way.
Yeah.
And then Gerald said, Kirk Herbstreit, I think, said something about, because Gerald said they only run 6 plays. It's a difference. Like, they only run 6 plays. They just do it out of different formations. And so what they used to do was they used to take this tight end, move him back here, move this guy up. Okay. Then sometimes you move this guy over here. Now you have 1, 2, 3. Or you take this guy, you move him up, move this guy back. And that's all they did. That's all they did the whole time. That's all they did. And it was truly like, so they didn't really have a fullback in that, at least in that time. So
I think the last one I give credit would be Mike Smith under Mark Richt in 2017.
That would make sense. Felder, you survived it.
Oh,
Where can people find you if they want to hear more of you? Where else do you exist? Taking a deep drink. I'll go with you here.
Folks, you can find me on itsfelder.substack.com, but also we've got a live show coming up, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Guess who's going to the live show?
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm coming to Raleigh.
You're going to Raleigh?
Yeah. I'm coming for you and the full cast. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so we're going to be in Raleigh on August 24th for a live show, and it's going to be super fun and super exciting. Hotels booked. My mom is watching my kid for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
Have you picked your shoes yet? I know you went over that on like the last Hand in the Dirt podcast.
Listen, I can tell you what shoes I didn't pick.
Okay.
I'm not wearing the Concords.
Okay.
I'm not wearing the Jason Kids.
There you go.
The rest of the Jordans are on board. We'll see.
They're on board. How big is your suitcase for your you know?
Well, I get to drive there.
You get to drive. Okay. So do you like? Are they in? Okay. Do you put them in the trunk in case you're undecided?
I drive a 4Runner, my man. I don't have a trunk. I got a way.
I mean, in the back hatch or whatever.
I got a way. What do you guys call it? You don't call it a way?
No. What is a way?
No, it's the way back. Yeah,
it's the way back.
Okay. The way back.
Thank you.
The way back. Yeah.
The way. You put them in the way. And so, thank you.
I'm so happy that someone else says that. I
do know the way. Yeah.
You put them in the way.
Yep.
Hey, because guess what? I got to go grocery shopping tomorrow, and I'm gonna put those groceries in the way.
Yep. Yeah, I learned to drive in a 9-seater Chevy Suburban, so we had the back, the way back, and the way back. So
the way back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ours was the way in the minivan because we had the back, the way back, which was the third row, and then the way back was the very like the actual back. Yeah.
The way.
Yep.
The way.
And then when you are like going to hang out with your friends, you're like, listen, I can fit 2 more, 3 more, and then the rest of y'all are going to have to be
in the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Please don't get me in trouble, but you're going to have to be in the way.
I said the same thing when I would put friends of mine in the bed of my pickup truck, but then like go on the highway to go places and just tell them to lay down.
Jordan.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah, you do these things. It was the 90s and 2000s, man. Shit was crazy. We just did it whatever we wanted.
Yeah,
we wild times.
We're just kids getting crazy.
Yep.
But no, we have it's the live show is going to be really cool. I'm so glad that you're coming. We're going to do, just so you know, I think we're going to do the show, and then I think we're going to do a little small like meet and greet right after. And then after that, your boy's going back to the hotel, and I'm bringing my own whiskey, so I might have some fun in the lobby.
There you go.
You can't. This is
Amazing.
what. Just so you know, this is water. This is just water. It's water from my metal pitcher that my mom got me.
It's nice.
Oh, I love that.
It's fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I really need a picture here.
With the ice catcher? Nice.
Yes, with the ice catcher.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Catcher's clutch.
Very
My
nice.
mom she's the most thoughtful lady that I know, and she just shows up for me constantly, including watching my kid. And she said, why don't I just take her Friday and Saturday instead of just on Saturday? Then you
Perfect.
can just get up in the morning and go to Raleigh. And I was like, okay, yeah, great. That sounds great. So, yeah. And by the way, I'm glad you got tickets because they're almost
Is it
gone.
sold out? Oh, sweet.
Not quite,
That's
but
great.
it's close. I think there's 3 dozen tickets left.
Okay, so my Felder, you'll appreciate this. My little sister used to live in
Mhm.
Orlando, which is where I live.
Yeah.
She just moved to Charlotte,
Yes.
and she is gotten into Formula One. I can't get her into she'll go to a college football game. She likes college basketball. But I was like, hey, do you want to go to this like podcast recording with me? And she's like,
Mhm.
that's the last thing on the planet that I want to do. I tried to get her to come down and go, and she was like, I love you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And so that was the thing that you said that I would really like.
Yes. And she's like, nope, I love you. I'm not interested in that.
I mean,
So
that's
I will see
fine.
her. She's gonna come visit me, but yeah.
My mom said the same thing.
Yeah.
Every time I've
Said
asked
no.
my wife to come on here to talk about anything, her response is absolutely not. So there you go.
Yeah. You kidding me? My mom's never been on a podcast. My wife has been on like 2 podcasts, and most of them are her just storming into the room being like, what are you talking about? I heard you say my name. She might come in right now. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. What are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this? And I'm like, I'm telling my life story. What do you want me to do? So yeah.
There you go.
This is my new water system, by the way. It works
like it.
fantastic. I drink between 6 and 9 liters of water a day.
I need to up my game.
Hey man, it's good for your skin. My wife's friend came over and she was talking about how she had like cracked skin, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, I don't know. I was like, first of all, you need to moisturize. Second of all, we're done with the show, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that we're still recording.
It's still recording, yeah.
We'll cut
I
this
don't-
whenever. We'll
I
draw a
don't
line
care.
whenever.
Yeah, we'll just cut it somewhere.
This doesn't bother me. I don't care.
No, that's
She's not
fine.
she'll never listen to this.
That's the
But-
best part.
But she's like, my skin is cracking and it feels so itchy. And I was like, do you moisturize and do you drink enough water? And she was like, how much water do you drink? I was like, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 9 liters of water a day. And she's like, how much is that? And I go, it's freaking 2 or 3 of these.
It's a lot. It's like 3 gallons. Like it's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot,
lot of water. But honestly, when I was up and down more like with Kitty when Kid was at home, like
Yeah.
I would guzzle water all day long just to feel human again. And nowadays,
Freaking drink that water. Beth, drink that water. I see you.
We got it.
that like I said, I chew
Drink
ice
that
like crazy. So
water.
I get all of my
El
water in terms of like
Capitan,
ice.
drinking the water.
That's
Drinking
right.
the water.
Got my water bottle.
That's right.
Pitt, drinking the water.